So as a marketing executive turned professional psychic medium, I thought my truth had gotten pretty far out there when I had to tell people that I not only have psychic abilities, but I communicate with the dead. Little did I realize that one day my truth would get so far out there that I ended up having to try to convince the lead singer of a band that he's my soulmate. Yes, my lovely friends on the other side came to me and said, Christine, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to convince Mark Foster, lead singer of Foster the People, that he is your divine complement, which means soulmate on crack. And we want you two to come together and do a lot of good in this world. And I will get to that later in the video. I'll explain to you exactly why they wanted to bring us together, what they wanted us to teach people. So what I ended up doing is spending the next 6 months creating 7 YouTube videos, appealing to Mark Foster, trying to get his attention, feeling like an ant, trying to get the attention of this giant, jumping up and down, screaming, and essentially explaining to him how, what, when, where, why we're soulmates. So this video is about the obstacles that I had to overcome in order to do that. Number 1, the intimidation factor. I was invited to a party at NAMM, which is a music conference or whatever. I think it stands for National Association of Musical Musicians or whatever. Anyway, the point is I got invited to a party, so I went. While I was at this party, I met a friend of Mark's who said, so you're hot after MF, huh? I think he's friends with the Hiltons. Yeah, that's not intimidating. Right. But I also follow him on Instagram, so I see who he's friends with. Models, actresses, all the beautiful people who have like thousands and thousands of followers. I think I have like 150 or something. So there was some intimidation that I had to get over with regards to chasing after somebody who has 68,000 Instagram followers. So when I post something on Instagram, I get 11 likes. When he posts something, he gets 11,000 likes. So that was a little strange. Number 2, I had to get over the fact that I was essentially ignored by this guy a lot. Like for the past 6 months, ignored, like a lot. So because I was following him on Instagram, I ended up becoming pretty close with a bunch of other Foster the People fans who were really cool. They were pretty young though, 14, 15, 16-year-olds, love teenagers. They're so awesome. They're so fun. I learned a lot from talking to them. I don't get to hang out with teenagers very often, so it was fun. But they were always like, Mark clicked like, or, Mark follow me, or whatever. And I'd be sitting there like, really? I don't exist. I'm invisible to him. So there was this jealousy factor that I had to get over with the Foster the People fans, because I was the one being ignored. And you would actually think that I would eventually get used to that after so long. I never did. I never got used to that. Never happened. Number 3, the idiot factor. My friends and family think I'm a moron. Imagine if one of your friends went up to you and said, Justin Bieber's my soulmate. You're going to roll your eyes and say you're high. And that's exactly what my friends and family have done. And I don't blame them one bit. I would probably do the same if I were them. My friend, who I've known for 21 years, who totally believes in psychic abilities, is completely behind me professionally, gets readings at everything, sat me down one day over lunch and said, I can't support you in this Mark Foster business. Chrissy, your truth has gotten way too far out there. I don't know what to tell you. It's nuts. People are talking about you behind your back. They think you're insane. They think you're losing your mind. They're seriously questioning your sanity. So that was the difficult part, is to know that I'm actually correct. And to have to deal with people that think I'm a total moron is really hard, and how it's affected my personal relationships is difficult as well. Number 4, the ignorance factor. The other side has chosen not to tell me why, over the last 6 months of chasing after him, he hasn't come forward. They have purposely chosen to keep me in the dark. They said, you just keep doing what you're doing. You just keep walking this path. It's none of your business why he hasn't come forward. Besides, any reason we give you isn't going to be good enough. You just keep doing what you're doing. So, the ignorance factor of being kept in the dark is really hard. My friends had difficulty supporting me, obviously, but my psychic friends do. They do support me because they're able to do a read on the situation and know that I'm legitimate. So I do have support from my psychic friends, and I'm very grateful for that aspect. Number 5, the rejection factor. Any way you slice it, I got rejected. Publicly, as a matter of fact. Which is even more difficult because those 7 videos that I created about him over the last 6 months were posted to my professional Facebook page, personal Facebook page, YouTube, and Reddit. So, yeah, I put it up a lot so people know that I was rejected, and that's embarrassing. I can use whatever spin on it I want to. At the end of the day, it's embarrassing. I remember in one of my videos I said, oh, he's intimidated by my beauty or whatever, just trying to cover it up. But anyway you slice it, I was rejected. Number 6, my credibility has been affected. I have 42 videos on YouTube now. Like I said, 7 of which are about him. You can go on my YouTube channel and see the first video that I posted about him is from April 9th. What are you going to do? You're going to say, oh, look at all these videos she posted about this guy. What? Oh, he never came forward. Oh, she was wrong. She was wrong. Well, can't trust her connection. I'm not going to book a reading with her. So my credibility has been affected as the voice for the other side by him not coming forward. Why would they book a reading with me? And then consequently, that affects my business and my livelihood. I recently had to borrow money. I went from a marketing executive making 6 figures a year to borrowing money, and I was crying, and I said, how did I get here? You guys put me here. You told me to pursue my life purpose, and you held my hand every step of the way, and this is where you lead me to? Borrowing money? Being embarrassed publicly? And they said, we didn't put you here. Mark Foster's free will put you here. They said, you are struggling because he didn't come forward. And so now we're going to have to come up with a plan B. We're going to have to restore your credibility and your livelihood. And we're going to have to come up with a different plan in order to do that. So I kept thinking that he was going to come forward. I kept hoping and praying that his free will was going to kick in and that he would come forward. After 6 months, he never did. The first week of September, one of my medium friends came forward. And she said, Christine, for the sake of your livelihood, you need to stop chasing after Mark. You need to walk away and move on with your life and completely cut ties. And I ignored her because I didn't want to. The second week of September, another medium friend came forward. These two don't know each other, by the way. They live in separate states. She said, Christine, your spirit guides are here. What's going on with Mark Foster? And she said the exact same message. You need to stop chasing after him. You need to essentially give up and walk away. I didn't want to, so I kept chasing after him. The third week of September, I woke up the morning of September 19th. My heart had closed. I didn't feel compelled to chase. I didn't feel anything. And all I felt was emptiness towards the situation. My heart had finally just given out and said, enough already. I'm done. And so my heart had closed. Just like somebody just shut it off, like a switch. And I did stop chasing him after that. But what if I told you that I wasn't only chasing after him for me? What if I told you that I was chasing after him for you too? Because what we were supposed to do when we came together was important. I'll tell you. This is what we were supposed to teach you guys. Believe it or not, the information that Mr. Foster has in his brain is proof that soulmates exist, divine complements exist, soul communication is possible, the law of attraction, power manifestation, and the most important one is that prayers are heard and answered. Why? Because he manifested this whole situation. So he is proof that prayers are heard and answered, and he can speak to that. I don't have to do that for him. But that is why the other side is so disappointed, is because they wanted to get this information out there via us coming together. And he never came forward. So they love making an example of me, and they asked me to create this video showing you how someone's free will can negatively impact someone on an individual level, but can also negatively impact people on a broader scale. Because this affected society as well, because we could have proven a lot of stuff together, at least tried. We could have at least made you question your reality, that's for sure. So, unfortunately, looking back, I never viewed Mr. Foster as being an ally. I always viewed him as somebody I had to chase, somebody I had to convince, somebody who somebody who was just the enemy, somebody who was working against me. I never saw him as an ally. And so, after all this, I guess you could say, when it comes to Christine Pavlina versus Mark Foster's free will wins.